This is Nick with Hemlock and Hyde, and this is how to price your handmade goods. We're going to talk about some of the strategies in pricing your goods and also some things not to do. And I think as makers, it's really, really easy to undervalue what you do and then underprice it. Okay, so let's get into it. I think we'll just start. You don't have to be like a mathematician to understand this. I just want to talk some strategy, and I want to talk about maybe some best practices on how to price what you do. And this is probably specifically for handmade goods and even more specifically for leather goods. So if that's what you're into, you might want to stick around. I think a lot of people get stuck. They just price based on cost of materials. And some people even forget about their own labor. They go, you know what, I'm just going to undercut my prices, gain some market share, and then I'll raise prices. But that's the wrong strategy. That's not going to work for you. You're going to find yourself spinning your wheels and really, really, I think, upset with that situation. Account for every single thing that goes into making that item. So let's go through what it looks like if you price wrong. So just say you make a wallet, a small wallet. It's $20 it costs you to make in materials, and you price it at $20. Do you think you're ever going to be able to grow with that pricing strategy? You can only pay for that thing one time and sell it once before you don't have enough money to buy enough materials to make that same item again. But this is exactly what some people do when they're pricing, especially when they're first starting out. They don't feel that their stuff warrants the value that it really does. Now let's take that to the next step. Maybe you're considering your materials, and then you're saying, okay, it cost me $20 to make this. I need at least $40 so I can pay for that same material again and make another one, and then I can add labor to it. So maybe it cost me, $15 on top of that to make my item. So now I have $55 if my math is correct. So when you further break it down, you could really figure out how many of those you can make in a week. And if ideally everything's selling, how much potential money you could make in a week based off of that item. And I think you'll find that that's maybe not enough. So once you're able to consider the cost of your materials, your labor, now you have to consider overhead, like things like electricity, all the little things that go into running your business, which is the harder to account for, I think, for small businesses, because they just go, oh, you know what, those things kind of pay for themselves, but they don't. You need to be able to pay for them continually, just like any business would. So I think you need to set yourself up that way to start. And then we didn't even talk about additional profit on top of that to reinvest into your business so that you can get new materials, so you can try new things, so you can maybe hire somebody. You really gotta think of a bigger scope when you're trying to price. And we also didn't even get into like the psychological aspect of it yet. So once you did a little math and then you figured out maybe your price point for that item is like $80, $90, then you can look at, well, where's my competition at? Where are they at with this similar item? Or am I way off the mark with my price point, or am I not? So you have to consider all of that for your strategy. Because then the reality is, if you don't, then slowly or quickly you'll end up with you're going to be breaking even, or you're going to be in the negative, and you're not going to know why. So like, even if you're selling an item that's priced wrong, you could still end up negative because you priced too low. And it's really, really easy to do. People forget things like packaging and shipping. They forget things like business cards. All the little things need to be accounted for. And you don't have to go crazy. Like, if you know you spend $30 on a spool of thread, and that you can average out how many projects that gets you through, and then do averages. So like really large companies will just do averages, and they know as long as they hit those averages, they're okay. But that's like a whole volume game. That's a whole different scenario. So we're talking a lower volume, a handmade item, and something that's unique and special. And then the other side of that is, will someone buy it at that price point? And are you targeting the right person for that price point? It's a whole system. It's not just setting a price and forgetting about it. Like, your price is included. It includes your brand. It includes things like marketing, all your packaging. It includes your whole everything about you. So the more you can like zoom out and look at your business that way, for consistency, I think you'll be in a much better place. Another thing I've seen people do is they don't give it a fair shake. They price it, I think, appropriately, and then they go, oh man, no one's buying this, I need to put it on sale. And you haven't given yourself enough time to find your target market and to find the right customer for your stuff. It's not, I mean, that sounds really simple, and it's not. Like, if you're riding on that money to pay your bills, there's a whole added stress, like running a small business that way and supporting yourself or your family or whatever your situation is. But I really feel like doing it right is just a slow, long process. And if you can set yourself up before you go full time into your business, you'll reap the benefits of that for a long time. When you put your handmade goods on sale a lot, or like do like a sales cycle, you then devalue what you do, and then people expect that devalued price to be the consistent price. Like, mentally, that's what they expect. So they'll just wait. They'll wait until there's a sale. I'm not saying all sales are bad. There's definitely a time to do sales. If you need to just get rid of product, if it's a one-off item, if you're passing along savings to a customer, if there's like a specific reason for why you're doing a sale, I feel like that's a much stronger business decision than just going, oh crap, I need to sell this. So I guess our advice is, consider your whole business when pricing. Consider where you are in the market when pricing. Consider your materials and the fact that you have to rebuy those materials, and you have to pay yourself, and you have to pay all of your bills, and then you have to have some profit to reinvest into your business again. So you need all of those things to have like the longevity as a business and a small business, because a lot of people fail in their first year, in their second year, in their third year, and they're just pouring and pouring money into it, and they're not getting the return, where they're breaking even and not reinvesting into their business because they can't. And you'll feel so grateful once you find that community that loves what you do and is willing to pay for it, and they're happy to pay for it. They want to support what you're doing because you make an amazing product, and they love your story. They want to support something that's local to them or US made. They want to support you. So you have to help them help you by pricing the right way so that you can continue what you're doing instead of just slowly going out of business and getting frustrated and not being in a place where you can think long term and plan long term because you're just worried about the financial aspect. And I certainly don't mean to make this sound easy. It's not easy. It's difficult. It's very hard, especially, like I said earlier, if you're relying on this as your sole income. But how you position yourself is really, really important, and it's going to help you if you can do that while you're growing your business. And then when it's time for you to jump in full time, you'll have a solid foundation so that you can scale that business and keep growing at the rate you want, and then keep reinventing yourself and keeping up with new designs and doing all the fun things that you really enjoy about your business, and then bringing on people that can help you make stuff and all the fun things that like we get inspired and excited about when we were like, oh man, I cannot wait to start something on my own, and I cannot wait to be my own boss. I can't wait to put this cool, awesome product out into the world. So I hope that helps you. I hope that kind of reframes some ideas you had about pricing. And if you want to hear more from us, let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for listening.